Yeah, so welcome to episode number 17, I think, of the Opinionated Podcast. We were off there for a couple of weeks. We had, well, a couple of things. one looming thing in particular. Matthew got half his face pulled off.
Yeah, and half my wisdom taken with it.
You're not speaking like Chris Eubanks, though.
It's a Mazib.
The pugilist.
I was like a Chris Eubank impersonator for the last week or so, but slowly getting the feeling back now in most of my face.
That's always handy to have.
Yeah. My tongue is still numb, but I can kind of control it more. Like when it was completely numb, it was literally like Jar Jar Binks. In form.
What kind of anesthetic did they give you?
Yeah, what is your tongue?
I honestly don't know. Like they gave me an injection into my arm, and I was like, "Oh, this is great." And then I apparently just fell asleep, started snoring straight away, and then obviously they give you the local anesthetics. Then when you're knocked out, because you're obviously like fairly still, like. But yeah, it was a great time until it started to wear off like a day later, and it was miserable. But
you're all good now.
Yeah, all good. Stitches are pretty much all gone. I'm now able to eat actual food instead of smoothies and stuff. So I don't know. I still kind of feel the same. I don't feel less wise, but we'll find out in due course.
Big moral question: do you feel any less yourself?
Ooh, philosophical questions. I've missed those.
Do you feel a part of you?
Just a bit of breaking news, actually. That's just reached my iPad here. Donald Trump has been called to testify before the Senate during his trial. So they're going to question him. That should be fucking hilarious.
Interesting. Well, that'll be special.
Yeah,
they're really making a mockery of the whole Trump name now, aren't they? Like they're not like I was of the opinion that they were going to, like, this was the driving seat for the Democrats now, and that they were going to just like lash home, right? This is what it means to be democratic and all that. And you kind of got hints of it in I can't remember her name, the poet at the inauguration, like her speech.
Gorman. Yeah, Amelia. Is it Amelia?
Her speech was just incredibly powerful, and like it kind of represented a lot of democratic values and so on. But like I don't know. I feel I heard a word being thrown around that the Democrats are making the whole Trump presidency a sort of a media circus just to generate petty support, nearly from the American population. That it's kind of a strange strategy, rather than just kind of saying, right, this is what it means to be democratic, going for that, and instead of just kind of taking the piss out of Trump nearly at this stage. Like questioning isn't really going to do much other than just kind of shit on his name.
Is that a defense of Trump there? Is that must be a first for the Opinionated Podcast?
No, it's not it's not a defense of Trump. It's a critique of like the Democrats' like way forward. Like it's kind of like the case of people before the election, like, will Biden be any different? And like I personally don't think he'll be a fucking significant improvement, but in reality I think he's just going to calm the storm. Like it's kind of sad to see, because Trump was such a kind of a polar opposite of what it meant to be democratic, that you kind of would think, right, we can actually like make a demonstration of this and like build on it rather than mock the other side, because mocking it can also generate a lot of distaste as well from his support. Like, so you're not actually going to really generate much support by doing so, if you get me.
Yeah, right. Definitely get you.
Oh no, I am by no means a Trump supporter. Just to clarify that, I hope I didn't give away that impression.
I didn't know where you were going there for a minute. There, you were kind of like dirting his name and how what?
No, he deserves his name to be absolutely absolutely trounced upon. But that's kind of all well said and done, but like if that's an actual genuine like political strategy that they're going to be using, rather than like promoting a now pro-democratic or a more democratic US state, that you'd kind of go back to the fundamentals rather than just, haha, look at this guy, he's an idiot. You know,
Yeah.
a very smart idiot at that. But
I don't think Biden can do much more though than really steady the ship. I don't think the conditions are like allowing him for radical. Like even his COVID thing is already, his COVID package is already hitting resistance with the Republicans. Like there isn't,
yeah,
you know, I don't know. He did say he's going to try to be bipartisan, but there's only so much you can do before you just start like hitting your head against the wall. Like,
yeah, that's kind of what I'm saying. Like if you kind of take away the focus from Trump and just focus on actually improving the kind of democratic like standpoint or standing even in America in the next 4 years, I think that's all he can really do. Like, and if he's around after those 4 years, maybe hopefully try and get another 4 years in office.
I'm reading his book at the minute actually that he wrote before he was vice president. It's really interesting. It's really, really interesting. Great book actually.
Yeah, actually, fascinating character.
I'm enjoying it a lot more than Obama's actually even.
Yeah.
Did
you finish the Obama book?
I did indeed, all 700 pages. It was a slog, I will admit. But yeah,
Jesus Christ,
it's really interesting. It does get a bit like you can get a bit bogged down in, you know, the big like fiscal packages and stuff like this. You know what I mean?
But he goes into a lot of detail.
Yeah, Biden's was good though. I'm enjoying Biden's because it's a lot more about his life, and you get a kind of sense about what he's about. You know what I mean? He does this whole honor thing, like that's why it's just a big change from Trump, seeing someone who actually gives a shit about people, like, you know.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Plus, he's had a horrendous life. Like he's had some terrible things happen. But like, yeah, that's my little bit.
Lovely. Yeah, lovely. Suppose we'll take it back home for a while.
Oh God.
Do we have to?
Been a couple of things coming up there in the last couple of weeks that we haven't really got a chance to talk about. Primarily, Minister Norma Foley.
Oh God.
There you go, Tom. Have the floor.
Yeah, we know Tom has a lot to say on the matter.
Yeah, it's just because I'm fed up hearing about the Leaving Cert, and that's nothing to do with Leaving Cert people. Like, you know, they have a right to be utterly disgraced at what's happening, but like, she's just not qualified to handle this. She's clearly not able to handle this situation. Like Joe McHugh beforehand couldn't handle the situation. She can't handle the situation, and I'm not being personal or anything, but that's what you get. We've had 100 years in this country, the same two mediocre parties, and now we're getting mediocre politicians that just cannot handle what they're doing. Simon Harris, the exact same. I don't even know why he does anymore. Like, I don't know. Is he
other than comment on things outside of his own department?
Yeah, like I'm a third level student. I don't know, what is he at? Like, well, I don't know what's he sit down at his desk to just draw all day or something. I wish he was Minister for Health again.
He just tweets a positive advice on Twitter that everyone just makes a meme out of at this stage.
Have an Instagram live saying, lads, it's bad, we need to stay together, piss off, you know. But Foley is there then, and Foley is, let's be real, we've known again November that things were going to get shit again. Like we knew this third wave was coming. It's still around 1,000, I was going to say 1,000 words, 1,000 cases a day. Where was the planning? Like, where, you know, it's now either call off the Leaving Cert. I don't know. I'm just fed up with his government. Fed up with his.
Sorry, Jack, fire away.
No, sorry. I was just going to say, like, that's just the Irish government all over. Like, it's wait until it's happening and then panic.
It's just putting out fires the whole time. Like, it's the same with the vaccine. We wait till the vaccine was here before we made a fucking plan. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah. That's what it's what this government does. Like, they don't plan ahead. We just we'll wait till that blocks up everything. Like, so here we are again with the Leaving Cert. What, 3-4 months before it's critical stage of Leaving Cert, and I don't know, we're flip flopping more than anything.
Yeah, it's like what we've been saying almost every week when we bring up the Irish government, like how reactionary it is. Like it's always not preventing a fire from being created. It's rather just putting out the fire when it pops up, which is like like any strategist or political student should know that like being reactive is fairly like it doesn't do anything for you really, other than kind of generate distaste towards your policies, the way you govern, and so on. I think the fact that we predicted graded the last leaving cert, and now we're kind of making such a fuss during a time where there's more variance. There's at the moment, at the moment, a higher case rate and a higher chance of actually contracting it, even with a vaccine. Maybe the vaccine is proving an oxymoron. It's like it's meant to be a positive thing, but it's actually kind of affecting our way of judgment. Maybe that we're just kind of saying, it'll be grand. We have the vaccine coming, so there's kind of everything will be happy and dandy kind of thing. But like we're in February now. Like the leaving cert isn't too far away, and I'd say nearly it's in its critical stage now. Like you learn a lot of coursework during the back from Christmas weeks and so on. I personally think it should be halted until further notice. Whether that means we predictive grade this year's again, I know that has its disadvantages as well, but at the same time, if you can void it last year, why can't you do it a second year and then have a plan for next year, which we should have had in the first place, for when we have a vaccinated Ireland and kind of more measures in place for a school environment to kind of become a reality again.
You just make a decision though. Every decision has advantages and disadvantages. Just make a fucking decision.
Yeah.
There's too much faffing around and fucking humming and hawing about everything. There's nothing concrete, and there's
no decisive leadership. Right now, this is what we're gonna do. Follow this,
Since the very beginning, there's been fuck all decisive leadership.
There hasn't been any.
Well, there hasn't been any in the last fucking 80 years, but like, it's fucking starting to grind more so now, like, especially in times like this. Like, these are times when we need strong leadership and strong, decisive fucking actions. Like, they're the ministers, they're the ones who are in power. Like, they're put there to govern the country. Like, they're supposed to have some sort of a qualification, regardless of whether they actually do or not. They're supposed to pretend like they fucking have a qualification and fucking,
they're doing a bad job at that nearly at this stage.
Like, when they can't even pretend that they're doing their job, like that's something. Like, fucking Donnelly, I can't stand that man. I cannot. Oh my god.
Sorry, Jack. Can you please speak in emojis, please?
Yeah. Jesus Christ Almighty! Like, the man got more replies of thumbs up on that post than he did fucking votes in the general election.
That's the kind of thing you reply with an emoji if you're like asked to get milk from the shop, not that you're given critical information about a rise of cases in Dublin.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, something of such a serious matter as well. Like, I'd understand it like if it was just kind of like a personal conversation,
or if it was just a trivial thing, like saying,
oh, did you hear?
Yeah, I don't know. Did you see this thing the other day where Donnelly said, I don't even know, I tried to make notes on this, but about this quarantine from foreign travel. Donnelly said one thing, Varadkar said the other thing, and then Micheál Martin said that neither of them are right. He actually said that how could you police that? I don't know what he was on about.
Tom, Dick, and Harry.
Like, the three of them are just so out of touch with each other. Like,
what do you think of Martin going off to the US for the St. Patrick's Day visit?
I'm kind of in for that, to be honest. Doesn't really.
Yeah.
Well, it doesn't really frustrate. Like, the Irish rugby team will travel around Europe for the next 6 weeks. Like, you know what I mean? I don't know. It doesn't really bother me. I still like. There's a difference. I know people are going. "Oh, he can go to Washington. Why can't we go to Lanzarote? Like, but fuck me. Like, he's the head of state. You know what I mean? If he can't go anywhere, well, like, do you know what I mean? Like, him going to the White House is not a signal for you to go off in your fucking hollybobs. Like, you know.
Yeah, but at the
Yeah,
same
but at
time,
the same time,
it gives off a kind of a bad message.
yeah, like, is it
Then,
not a
but
bit
then again,
hypocritical?
at the moment, we have no travel restrictions in terms of leaving the country.
Exactly.
Like I can go to America if I wanted to. I'm advised not to, but I can. Like, this is the thing. Like, I was watching a clip from, I think it was Jacinta Ardern I think it was in June last year, and like at that stage, New Zealand had a relatively firm grasp on COVID, and they were just saying like how bad a job we were doing, and like that we're kind of the failed case of trying to attack COVID. And like I couldn't agree with her more, to be honest, especially when, like, if you look at New Zealand now, it's in pretty good form. And we're in the absolute shit heap that we find ourselves in. But I think it's our own fault. Like this whole thing now of saying that quarantining in a hotel for 2 weeks is more like a prison cell, and it doesn't
Jesus
kind of attract
Christ.
tourists. Like,
Yeah.
are you hearing yourselves? Like, we have a huge homelessness crisis, a huge direct provision crisis, and you're comparing a tourist coming to, or well, whoever it may be, coming into Ireland, and asking them to stay in a hotel, which more than likely will be fairly bougie, especially if you're going to Dublin. Like, there's not really many bad hotels in Dublin, for 2 weeks, bed and breakfast, the whole shebang, and you're comparing that to a prison cell. Like, I think it's a small price to pay for a new freedom from a fucking. I'm so sick of this pandemic. Like, it's genuine. Like, and especially when it's such basic decisions that we can't, like, we're oohing and ahhing, oh, like this, and then we're complaining that there's too many people on the PUP. Fuck's sake, get the hotels back up running and fucking get a few people off it. Like, you know, it's such a joke.
Really shit time, isn't it?
Such a joke.
Horrible.
I think the last week has really been, like, for me, just the shittest time of this whole thing, if I'm honest. It's just been, there's no good news. I thought the vaccine was good news, and now it's just another political
That's fucked as well now.
political football, as the Hilly Rails would say.
Exactly. It's fucking like, and then you come along to Brexit as well. Like, that's just adding on top of that, and it's a fucking nightmare, an utter nightmare. Like, in the job that I'm in, like, we deal with an awful lot of stuff going to the UK. Like, there's a 15, like, 4 what would have been our couriers DPD. Other couriers are available. Before, our service was 2-day delivery with DPD. Now it can take up to 15 days, if not longer. 15 working days. Like, that's 3 weeks just to clear customs.
Yeah, I'm still waiting on things from November. So, like,
I think they're lost, Matthew. I think you
Yeah.
give up.
I think they're gone. That's well before Brexit.
It's been stuck in Luxembourg for far too long.
Luxembourg.
Yeah, I've one package stuck in Luxembourg, and I have another one stuck in France, apparently.
There's only one delivery man in Luxembourg anyway, I'd say, so he's probably under a bit of pressure.
Yeah.
He'll probably go and find
bastard.
it.
Yeah. And then you have
Brexit.
Oh yeah, good.
No, I just
No, I think we're going to say the same thing, yeah.
Yeah. The DUP, the party that never misses an opportunity to miss an opportunity.
Don't understand politics at Danny Winters.
They've started to blame themselves, ironically, for the position they find themselves in. They don't know they're blaming themselves, but they're blaming themselves.
I can't understand
Neither can the DUP, Jack.
No.
But they don't understand themselves, let alone
That's
how
what
can anybody else understand them.
James O'Brien said this morning. It's Brexit politicians blaming Brexit politicians about the decisions Brexit politicians made.
That's
I
exactly
couldn't
it.
write it like.
No. Oh dear.
Like, basically, all they want is just a border between the north and the
Yeah.
south, as far as I can tell. Like, just to
That's
just
all.
sum it all up, like, you know,
Mm.
like, like, how can they not have been aware of the fucking of what the Northern Ireland Protocol was
Because
like,
they
and
don't
the
give
customs
a
border? Like,
shit. Like they don't care. Like you know what I mean. Arlene Foster
Yeah.
cares now because, like you said, she could argue for a border down, middle of Ireland, like which I don't know.
She's the DUP is also kind of emblematic of like reactive politics as well, like to a degree. Like they just throw around like
Yeah.
things
Blindly.
and like blindly just have a border without actually understanding anything to do with the Northern Ireland Protocol or anything to do with even our history, like, and like, it's nearly dangerous to kind of generate like the idea of a border again. Like I'm after seeing a good bit of commentary of it on Twitter. Like a lot of people like coming out saying, "Yeah, I'm a Protestant, but I don't want to be like recognized as a UVF supporter or UUP supporter, DUP supporter," because it's actually gone to a point where it's so vile and so like alienated from what they even wanted in the beginning, like just being loyal to Britain. It's now nearly becoming a kind of a mission to kind of just piss off Catholic Irish, and more than piss off actually. In some cases, like those messages, the ode to Leo Varadkar on outside the Spar there up the north, like that they're not comments that you just throw out willy nilly. That's like a sign of genuine, well, maybe it's not like completely genuine, but there is an element there of serious virulency that needs to be sort of addressed.
I didn't even get the idea behind that. Like, what does Leo Varadkar have to do with Article 16?
Exactly.
Yeah.
It'd be more Michael Martin now at this stage.
Yeah. I don't really get that.
Yeah. Like,
yeah.
What do you
An
think of
ode.
that? The whole sectarian shit, like that's cropping up now. Do you think that's the start of shit starting to come back again, or is it just are they just isolated coincidences?
I think it's bound to come back up. Now, whether I don't think it'll return to the times of the Troubles. I hope. But I think it's bound to come up whenever you talk about a border or creating a united Ireland. It's bound to generate some heat from either side, because it's one of, if not the biggest, like complications in our political history. Like and then it's going back as well to, have we dealt with our trauma, but have like Protestants actually dealt with the trauma of it as well? Like the British Army committed atrocities, the IRA committed atrocities. They're both to blame for thousands of deaths and just tragedy in the north. Like you can't point fingers, and especially now when religion is seriously in decline as well. I think people are sort of realigning themselves, like the guy that I was just talking about there on Twitter. Like people aren't kind of finding political ties with Protestantism anymore, or maybe not to the same degree, because it's literally becoming borderline terrorism again. Like no one wants to see that pop up again. Like we won't. I don't think we will return to that time. But at the same time, when you see instances like this, you kind of start to worry.
Yeah.
I think the EU is wrong though. They slightly they should have went home for the weekend rather than jumping the gun with the whole Article 16. I didn't get the premise behind it. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it was kind of like they're trying to hold ground, but just made fools of themselves nearly more so.
Yeah, they got a little carried away there, didn't they? Too defensive all of a sudden, and then thought, well, what the hell? We'll go on the attack all of a sudden. Like, I think if everyone had to literally go home for the weekend and come back Monday, it probably wouldn't have happened.
No, we wouldn't have this shit now. I'd say.
No.
The EU don't understand our history as well as us, though. As well,
No.
like I'm not saying that it's their duty to understand everyone's history, but at the same time, like when you're butting into something where, especially
they're not sensitive.
Especially to like this issue, which is highly sensitive. Like you got to be careful what you do. Like we've seen it throughout history, like how fragile events can be and how it can literally cause world wars. Like going back to World War One, like how fragile that was.
Well, like that was basically started by World War One basically started by the assassination of an archduke. Like
that's one interpretation.
Well, technically, it depends on certain people's interpretations.
Yeah. No, I did a module on it in my last year there in UCD, and it's fascinating, like how like many people kind of find different interpretations in something that's kind of like when you look at the timeline, it's relatively straightforward, but at the same time, it's also incredibly complex when you delve into it, into like the diplomatic messages and stuff like that. Like it's fascinating.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I think that's where we're lucky though to have Mr. Biden. I think he's might be the old calm and the grand old man over there. Like, you know, he seems to understand the whole situation here. So that's probably like working in our favor. That maybe if things did kick off, he might intervene a bit there. And, you know.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see what side he'd fall on if, for instance, there was
100% Republic side. Like, there's no way. There's no way that man is going to even shake hands with Arlene Foster. Like,
no, I'm not saying I wasn't like saying Northern Ireland. That's the other side. I was going to say the UK, because I think the UK would have a more kind of reason to kind of hold on to the North rather than the North holding on to itself. Rather, like would Biden choose Micheál Martin or Boris Johnson?
100% Micheál Martin.
Oh, fucking 100%. He wouldn't have said before the election. He wouldn't have said that if he was elected, there wouldn't be trade agreements. Like if the Good Friday Agreement is in jeopardy, like he definitely would not have said that.
And Nancy Pelosi,
and especially
very Irish as well. She's very European orientated.
Yeah, like, and even with Biden taking the Winston Churchill bus to the Oval Office.
Yeah, that's brilliant.
That's fucking hilarious.
Farage came out fucking complained about that, saying
get the fuck.
I don't even know. It's ridiculous. Like, it's ridiculous. Like, Churchill was a fucking tyrant. He was a bollocks. There's no other way about it. Like,
he literally caused genocide in, was it Burma or Jesus? I can't remember.
Yeah, I think it was.
The famine.
That's to name one.
Yeah, exactly. To name one is right.
You know, take your pick, nearly. Like.
Yeah, like when you look at World War II, you just kind of hone in on he did good, but like, he did fuck all.
He didn't get re-elected afterwards.
No,
like the man was in what? The man was in his 80s in World War One or 70s anyway. Or World War II.
He had a great speech. That was his one achievement in life.
I'll tell you, and Dev landed it on his arse then, and I tell you that. He gave him a right hook by that. Best thing, De Valera's the one thing I think everyone can agree on. De Valera whooped him there, like, with that speech.
The 1-2 snake punch.
Yeah. I actually listened to that speech the other day, and I thought, "Go on, Dev, fucking get into him there." God, we're such nerds.
This is what you get for
listening to us. Anyway, they're not even familiar with it. Like.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I think Biden is going to be good for the Republic anyway, and like. Going back to the North there for a second, I read an article. It was an article about an interview with Nicola Sturgeon, It was just her thoughts on the coming years. we're all fans here. And it's just her thoughts on the coming years, like with regards Scotland and Northern Ireland. And she reckons that if they're re-elected again in May, they're going to push for a second independence referendum for Scotland. And with the way the last 23 opinion polls on the subject, they've all voted to leave the UK, like to become independent. So if they're anything to go by, you know, it seems like Scotland are going to be independent. That's if the SNP get back in, which I would be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if they did. And then her thoughts on the North were that, like, she reckons that within 5 years, or definitely within 10, there will be a unity referendum, or even a border poll, just to see, like, because there hasn't been one yet. Like,
I think it's sort of bound to happen, isn't it? Like, I don't know like the exact time frame of when it's going to happen, but like it's just bound to happen at some point. Like even if it's not in our lifetime, which I presume it will be, but like it nearly has to.
Things are kind of slowly starting to point that direction now, and like no one can.
Like,
it's like our Ireland redemption arc, like.
Yeah, but it's like now even like Fianna Fáil or Fine Gael can deny it anymore. Like, you know what I mean? They are starting to say within the next 10 years. You know what I mean? It's slowly the ship is turning towards now referendum eventually. Like, you know.
Yeah, and like if you look at the demographics in the North, like majority of people, like I know if you're going to go by religion, I know religion is far from it now, but before there was kind of a 70-30% split between Protestants and Catholics, Protestants having a majority, but now the demographic has nearly switched, and it's kind of at the minute it's kind of 60-40 Catholics, Protestants. Now I know that doesn't fall into it, but predominantly Catholics would have been Republican and Protestants Unionist, like that's traditionally. But even aside from that, aside from religion, opinions seem to be like, even with the Brexit referendum, like the North voted to remain in the EU. Like I think that kind of says more about a unity referendum than religion. Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Definitely. We'd welcome them back with open arms.
Without
and who knows, maybe if we had a Sinn Féin government, it might be accelerated a bit. I can't imagine it moving too swiftly anyway under our current regime.
I think we have a fair bit to fucking tackle at the minute, though, to be fair as well. Though.
Yeah, like I think United Ireland is off the cards for now anyway.
Yeah, can we just get shit in order here before we start adding more to it? Like, you know?
Let's get ourselves in order first.
Yeah.
It will bring in
the North for now. That's a matter for later engagement.
So at the minute we like having an open house that's just been absolutely ramsacked the night before, like, and saying, "What do you think, lads?" You know what I mean? I think we should clean up first and put the best cutlery out before we do invite anyone in. So I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about anymore. I sit in this chair for like 20 hours a day.
Pulling up analogies out of your hole. All the joys of it.
Yeah, I really like that. I might throw that curveball into it, right?
Fuck it, go on.
It's been a long time, really.
Yeah.
There's something's kind of bugged me a bit today now. This is kind of, no, I haven't put much thought into this. It's just a topic I kind of thought about. Right. One of my main gripes with this country at the minute is our healthcare system, and that the fact we have a 2-tier healthcare system, and that it's supplemented. For the amount of tax that we're paying, I think we should be getting a better service than we actually do. My main gripe, where this topic comes out of, right? I had to go I rang the doctor this morning because I have asthma, so my breathing was getting worse in the last few months. So I needed to kind of up my dosage with my inhalers and all. So I was put on a new inhaler. It's Right. It's called Symbicort, so it's. I don't need to go into details on that. But I went into the chemist. Normally, I get 2 Salomon inhalers, 2 of them every 2 or 3 months for €12. This one, I got 1 of them, and I went up to the pharmacist, and he said to me, "These ones are a little bit more expensive now than the usual Salomon." I was thinking, so here's me thinking, all right, okay, sure. Even if they're 25 for one, it's still worth it. Like, it's, whatever. Like, so he hands me out the bag, and I think that'd be 47.75. I said,
Heart
"Is that for
drops.
2?" I said, no, it's just 1. I said, "Oh my God, like fucking nearly €50 for 1 inhaler." And I have to take that. There's 120 doses, and I have to take 4 doses a day. So that's a month I get out of it.
I was trying to do the maths in my head there.
Jesus,
But,
yeah,
oh
that's
my
expensive.
God. I was kind of contemplating, is breathing worth it? Like, Jesus Christ.
Get a ventilator, the fuck. It'd be grand.
So what's that a year
totally
then? So
mental.
that's, well, just say €50. Because you have to get petrol to win. So
€600 a month, roughly. Or a year.
a month? Fuck.
A year.
Jesus.
€600 a year, yeah.
Jeez, you want to spread out the gaps between breathing there, will you?
Might become a great swimmer then, like, as a result.
Yeah.
So.
Stop that laughing.
Yeah.
Train for the Olympics there while you're at.
That laugh just cost you 40 cents there.
Yeah. It fucking seems that way. But like,
breathing.
and then it cost me €60 as well for the fucking consultancy. Like, so that's €110 down the fucking drain. Like,
Did you even
and all
see
I
the
can do
doctor?
is
Did you
breathe
just
it.
ring him? Or her? Or
Yeah.
him?
Well, I rang yesterday and I was never rang back, but so I rang.
So you didn't actually go to the doctor and he still charged you €60.
Oh yeah,
Fucking
for
hell.
the consultancy.
I think we're afraid of doctors in this country. Do you know that?
I think so. Afraid
We're
to
afraid
pay
of
back.
anything to do with science, like
Yeah.
even the vaccine to a degree, because we're not even fucking pumping that out.
But yeah, I think you're onto something there, Tom. Like, it's kind of that old mentality of the guard, the priest, the teacher, and the doctor.
Yeah.
They're the the pillars
Holier-
of society. So
Holier than thou.
yeah, exactly. Like
they
they know
also
they're
do,
the,
like an incredibly technical job. Like, yeah, they should be paid more, but like, fuck me, €60 for a phone call now is a little. You know what I mean?
yeah. Like, come on, like I'm paying taxes, like, and they're supposed to be going into a health system, like, and I know, like, all right, I know that fucking inhaler probably would have cost €120 if it wasn't supplemented, but fuck me, still €50, like.
Well, I used to have terrible problems with my back, and I used to go to a chiropractor twice a week, €50 for 6 weeks. Like,
That's a lot of money.
I'm not saying I didn't. I didn't exactly design my back like this or anything. It's hardly my fault. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah, it's like there was absolutely no support there.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Like, it's just like we pay enough in tax to have. Like, we're one of the most taxed societies in Europe anyway. Like, we should have a better health system, I think, and we should get more for our tax money. Like,
yeah, but don't forget, Jack, we're getting a white water rafting facility on Dublin's quayfront, which is going to cost.
Surf's up.
Which actually, just to get this off my chest, I actually saw the estimate the other day. It was between 12 and 25 million, which seems to be the most vague fucking estimate you could find.
so
And no one else, it'll be 250 million if you forgot a zero.
13 million. Like, your estimate should be around there. Like,
how can they lose 13 million? Like, how can, like, that's not very much. That's not a great estimate. Like, it's still
12 or
what the
25.
lower figure is.
Yeah, that's where our tax money is going. Fuck me.
Yeah. Like, especially when you compare our health system to like the NHS in England, and like how, like, obviously I'm not very well familiar with how that operates, but like, to me it looks pretty good. And don't they have free healthcare as well? Like, everything is free.
Yeah, like the NHS, like it's a fully supplemented healthcare system. So everything.
But you look at the standard of that, like it's pretty high. Whereas like we're paying to an arm and a leg for something so basic as an inhaler, and
Yeah.
like the treatment
It's
is
something I
so
need
shit.
to breathe.
And yeah, exactly. Like I've been taking medication for Crohn's for several years now, and like only for a medical card I would seriously be in debt. Like all the different drugs I've been on, not heroin, like genuine.
Thanks for clearing that up there.
Thanks for
just
clarifying.
if anyone gets any notions. But like some of them would cost like upward to like €1,200 a month. Like
Fuck me.
this is
Yeah.
what we're talking about. Like so like a medical card is crucial in like allowing myself to stay alive. But like even still, like take the wisdom teeth removal there. Like I did a good bit of research on like where to get it done and like price wise and so on.
The
Like
dentist, no. Yeah.
the dentist would be helpful, yeah.
Jim
No,
down the road
but
there, he'll pull him out of the
there,
fire.
when you look up like anything to do with dental work and medical cards, that you're entitled to like extractions where necessary, and I was recommended by a dentist that this was a necessary like route like to go. So I was like, right, okay. But it turns out that now the government has granted dentists and wherever you're getting it done, or orthodontists or whatever, that they can opt in and opt out of that. So then what's the point of having that there,
Yeah.
like, you know? Because like obviously they're going to opt out of it, because then you can make absolute bank from like poor people like me. No, but like there's a lot of inconsistencies there. Like I have a medical card for a reason, and like even people without medical cards who need medical cards that are paying an arm and a leg should get them as well.
Just when you mentioned that there on the local radio station here this morning, I didn't catch it all because I was working, but there was a man on it with he was terminally ill with cancer, and he can't get a medical card.
Yeah,
they won't give him a medical card. Like, what is this country if that man can't get a medical card? If he can't have some little small bit of peace, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I also never, I never
Sorry, go
understood why. Sorry, I never understood why in Ireland you pay so much for medicine compared to like other countries. Like when you go on holidays to Spain and you're dying of a hangover and you go in for like some Nurofen or whatever, and like it's only like a few quid, and like you go here and you pay like tenner for it. Like, you know, I don't. There's obviously probably something to do with tax and our fucking setup, but like, why can Spanish person A spend like a fiver on something that would cost here like 50 quid?
I actually read the other day why we don't have an NHS here, and that was because the doctors and politicians of our great history were afraid of socialized medicine.
Is this Noel Brown you're talking about?
It was around Noel Brown, yeah, it was.
Not too far off.
Yeah.
What? I can't. What's the issue with socialized medicine? Is what I can't understand.
Because it's socialism, Jack.
Yeah,
Can't have socialism.
The practitioners were afraid that they would lose the ability to charge people. Like, that's basically it. Like,
But they're still going to get fucking paid. Like,
yeah, but that was, you know, the thoughts of
that. Like, what? Like, they're getting paid by fucking tax money as opposed to coming out of people's pockets who are already getting fucking taxed to the fucking hilt.
To be fair, though,
that fucking bugs me about this fucking place.
Yeah.
To be fair, though, you can't really blame them because they did. I think Sean Tracy was caught with a communist pamphlet in his pocket. So then they had this great plan that the communists were trying to take over Ireland.
Hot, more like implanted, I say.
Yeah, well, there was about 100 people, so that meant socialized medicine would be the absolute disaster for our country.
Yeah, it kind of came at a time as well where literally like commies were taking over the world.
I love in Ireland we have the Red Scare when about 3 people actually were actual communists, and there was about 10 people who thought I'd go along to see what's going on. Like,
oh my god.
We're actually a joke of a country, like when you kind of look at it, like Jesus Christ.
We're a very odd, very, very, very odd country.
Yeah, we're kind of an enigma.
between the fucking Catholic Church and corrupt governments, like it's been an odd few hundred years.
Yeah, like like it's mental. Like we had for 700 years, give or take, we had one tyrant ruling our country, and then as soon as they're gone, the boys let in another fucking tyrant to rule the country. Like, we can't be let look after ourselves. Like, fucking let the lads in, let the church in to tell us what to do.
I want to go
Fuck
back to
me.
that. I want to go back to them with Gaelic times. You know those fucking like when the Normans were around. That seemed to be
feudal laws.
that must have been some crack, like you know what I mean. No one knew what the fuck was going on. Like the gods were fairies. Like Cuchulainn was like
Yeah, baiting lads' heads in.
yeah. Firing
Schlitters
slippers
from half a mile away.
Yeah. That was the original 360 no scope, like you know what I mean.
Yeah, when he went to battle Queen Maeve, he spent like 3 weeks firing stones at her just to see can he hit her. Like,
Yeah.
from I think it was like 300 miles away.
Oh, was that one that turned into a horse? Was that one? No.
Turned into a horse.
Or was that a goose or a swan? I don't know. Tiernan Og, that's a horse, isn't it?
Children of Lear.
Tirnanog is a land.
All right.
The land of eternal youth.
I'm just complete. I don't know what my brain is just
You're
having a
mixed up a
malfunction.
couple
You
of bits there,
blended
haven't
like
you?
several
The minute,
stories
the
there.
minute I
into
said
one.
Tiernan Og, I actually thought of a pub rather than a story.
The maggot, as it's also affectionately
What
known.
was the one where the salmon of knowledge is a fish, obviously? What was
Yeah, that's how Cuchulainn became Cuchulainn. No, not Cuchulainn. No, Fiumacul.
and who was on the horse then? Tiernan Og.
Oisin.
That was Oisin.
Oh, yes.
And he fell off the
Oisin
horse
was
and
Tiernan
became
Og.
instantly old.
Yeah, if he ever touched the ground, he fucked off with Neve to Tiernan Og, and he ended up being over there for 300 years. And when he came back, he wanted to come back to see everyone, but Neve told him that if he stepped off the horse, he'd die. He'd become 300 years old and die. And
But I think
he went
that story is a great analogy for leaving this country during a pandemic. Don't fuck off to Dubai, lads.
No,
It might
Please
You're gonna
don't.
have to guide Neve there about that one.
it might be tempting, but you know, you could get COVID.
Oh dear.
Wow.
Well, at least my wisdom isn't gone, but my comedy definitely has.
Your wisdom teeth are gone though.
Hey.
Hey.
Hey. But yeah, I don't know.
You'd miss the crack, wouldn't you? You'd really miss the crack. Like, I'm just sitting there thinking, fucking hell, things are very dull, like, you know.
Yeah.
Oh Jesus, tell me about it. Like the most interaction I'd have is there's two people in the building at work, and then the courier who comes in to collect the stuff that I pack up during the day. That's about it. Like,
Yeah.
outside
Even
of my
like
own
talking,
family circle, like.
even talking to friends now is nearly restricted because you're back to college, you're back to work, and like you're so fucking tired at the end of the day, and you're just like, all I want to do is go to the bed, like so.
And watch The
It's
Office.
such, yeah, exactly. Like it's becoming such a groundhog day, like of just waking up, going to work, eating the dinner, come home, go to bed, good luck, and start it all again at 7 o'clock in the morning. Like it's so repetitive. And I think being at home as well all the time, like Jesus, I've been trying to get out of the house as much as possible, and like it's just raining constantly, and it's not going well. Like,
yeah, how are you handling it? So that's
Sure. Oh.
Yeah, that's the same question. It's like I asked the fella in the shop today, like, are you busy? No. It's just like,
no. I had this conversation there in work about 2 weeks ago. Like, I was kind of coping with it up until say October, and then a fatigue started to set in, and now it's just getting worse and worse, and it just seems hopeless. Like no matter what said, like Varadkar said today that the goal of having 80% of the population vaccinated by September is still doable or achievable in their eyes. Like, fucking hell, like I don't know.
In its fuck. I'd say there's as much chance as me vaccinating that about, like, fuck me. Just just tell me straight out, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know, but like that's the way I'm feeling. Like it's just utterly hopeless. Like, you know.
Or as Durkin would say from Hardy Books, there's more chance of Stephen Hawking getting trials at Inter Milan than that happening.
Oh,
I really miss when me and you, Jack, used to go golfing like every week. That was kind of something to look forward to. Now there's just
can't even do that now. You can't even
no
fucking walk around a couple of fields,
hitting the ball.
tapping the small ball around. Like,
It's the
fucking
little
hell.
things you're actually like really missing. Like,
They're gonna have to do something soon though. Like I understand things are fairly bad, like, but they're gonna have to open like fucking tennis courts or something. Like,
have
you know what I
to.
mean? Like something fucking
see,
doable.
we could have done this if we just went cold turkey lockdown for a couple of months at the beginning, and then we would have been happy and dandy. But clearly, that's too hard of an ask.
Yeah, thumbs up to that there.
Yeah, it just pisses me off, like seeing like a country like the size of New Zealand do so well, and us literally like smack bang in the middle of Western Europe, and we can't fucking like do something so simple.
It worse than where we were at the start.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Back to square one, -1. Like.
Yeah. Lockdown 3.3, level 5 3/4. Like that, you just know
Honestly.
that's going to be the next shite, don't you? It's going to be like level 4.3, and then you're not going to be able. You're going to be able
Version
to go,
2
yeah.
updated required. It's like playing a fucking game on
Patch
Xbox or
notes.
something. It's just, yeah, like here lads, we've patched up the lockdown a bit. Yeah, you should be able to move around a bit more.
7
Oh, no,
kilometers.
lads, sorry.
7.
But that's honestly, that's even the way it is now, because the fucking levels that they came out with, like, they're might as well fucked in the bin. Like,
It's a waste of
they have
time.
to be fucked in the bin.
Yeah.
They're not worth the paper they're written on. Like,
No, not
They're
at all.
fucking-
They'd be shite game developers, wouldn't they?
Yeah. It's like Mario at level 5, and the man is not there when you get to the castle. So very strange.
Yeah.
I just hope. I find it all very hopeless now.
Yeah.
It's this Groundhog Day. It just drags. Like the weeks are dragging. Like I've been hearing people like in the shops like saying like, oh, sure, the weeks are flying by, and it's like, no, they're not. Like every day feels like a century.
Yeah.
Maybe that's just me. I don't know. Like I think the days are pulling. Like they're going so slow, and then like waking up in the dark, going into work early in the morning, then coming home in the dark, so that doesn't help. Like I'm living for the grand stretch in the evenings now at this stage.
Can I ask you a question?
Fire away.
Have any of you dreaming at night?
Yes, fierce.
Yeah.
That could have been
They
from
have
the
been.
anesthetic though. I can't say.
I have been
That
having.
wasn't a dream, Matthew. That actually happened.
Oh shit. I need to make some phone calls.
I have been having some fierce dreams. Some very, very peculiar people from fucking years ago. Like, I had a dream the other day where I was in a competition where I had to knock someone off a bike, and the fella that was on the bike was from a golf YouTube channel, and it was just on the road outside my house, and I had to knock him off the bike.
Rick Shields or something, is it?
Yes, it was Rick Shields. Yeah. I watched Rick Shields before I went to bed testing out drivers, and then I had a bit like a dream where I'm knocking him off a bike. Yeah. Sorry, Rick, if you're listening. I've had some weird dream, but then I wake up and I go asleep and have another dream. I've never done that in my life. Like,
There hasn't even been a full moon to kind of throw out that conspiracy.
what's full moon have to do with it?
Isn't it like when full moon happens, like you have like crazy dreams and like kind of weird shit happens?
Yeah, supposedly.
Supposedly.
Oh, it's dark outside, there's no moon.
Yeah. Have you had? Sorry. Go
I
was going to say, I give up. Like, that'll tell you how hopeless I'm feeling at the minute. I was going to start saying something, I just give up. Like,
oh no.
Matthew, I was going to ask you what weird dreams have you had, but it didn't really want to know.
Just surreal things. Like it's almost like a lucid dream. Like it's so realistic and so like immersive. And then you wake up and you still like for a couple of seconds feel like you're actually still in the dream, but you're not in the dream.
Again, Matthew, are you sure this wasn't real life when you were just anesthetized?
So this is even before the anesthetic, like well before wisdom teeth. It's kind of been happening a lot since Christmas. So unless there was something pumped into the turkeys, I don't know. But
I just remembered a dream I had.
go on. No, shoot. You have to say it now.
I don't quite remember the dream. But I remember a football was coming at me, but I woke up, like I physically woke up, and I remember the first thing I went was, "Oh, you bastard!" I went.
It's like those dreams where like you're falling off a building or
Yeah.
like jumping out of a plane and you just hit the ground. And, oh, it's the scariest thing ever. Like
I distinctly remember waking up just going, "Oh, you bastard!" Oh my!
yeah, no, I don't know what it is. Maybe it's like not
I'm
having
gonna,
like
I'm gonna
a
Google
routine.
that. Yeah, is it a thing like lockdown dreams?
Or maybe having a routine would give you more dreams. Like I don't know.
Yeah, I know I have been dreaming, but I can't. I'm useless at remembering what I dream about.
Yeah, the one on the bike was the only thing that stands out for me because I remember thinking that was mental. Like,
That kind of would.
yeah, but I do, yeah. Fucking hell.
No, it's been weird. Like seriously weird. And I actually have no like reason for it. Like I don't even I haven't been able to eat the last couple of weeks, so I can't even blame cheese. So like I love cheese, but I can't even blame that. So no. Unless I've mastered the technique of lucid dreaming and I don't even realize it.
You're far out there, man.
Whoa.
Some serious Inception shit.
Come back to your own room, bro. You're in space.
What the fuck are people going to think listening to this?
Ah, God, I don't know. I just don't know.
It's got to be remotely entertaining anyway.
Yeah.
It has to be. It must be.
It's got to be better than anyone's Groundhog Day. Come on.
God. Like, oh yeah, I suppose it's a minor achievement. We did rank in our category on in one of our categories on Apple Podcasts there last week.
Hey.
No, it's a minor achievement. I'm not even going to say where we ranked, but that's not too bad. We are in the top 10. We were in the top 10 of the government category in on Apple Podcasts.
It's such an odd category.
I've never even seen that before. I'm going to look that up right
who
now.
else is in that category. I'm not sure who is, but we do fall in under that. I think one of our other tags might be comedy and might be politics too.
Who decided that though? Who like?
I think I don't know. I'm not sure.
Seems
I
just
don't
an
know who put us
algorithm.
into the government one anyway.
But yeah, no, it's good stuff. It's good stuff.
Yeah.
I just felt government.
Oh Lord. Do you have any curveballs before we finish up?
When do you think we'll be out of a lockdown?
Never.
No, I never. Purgatory.
I can't find this, Jack.
Yeah, I don't know. I just got an email from Acast. Well, I didn't. It was the what you call it, the podcast email. But yeah,
That's pretty good. Either way.
Yeah. I think it's an achievement anyway, a minor achievement.
It is, yeah.
Yeah, just, I never thought I'd be even in a category. Never mind the top.
I'm sure you fall into a category somewhere.
Yeah. I just float in between some fucking. I ain't no bound to no group. I know.
That's it. Best podcast earned. Tommy and Hector really blew it, hands down.
It is. Really
Every Thursday, I wake up and turn it on.
It's just it gets better every podcast episode. Like
yeah, it does.
Truly does.
Yeah.
The only three words I say every day are Alexa, put on LBC, and Alexa, put on Tommy and Tiernan.
Yeah. It's really good. I haven't actually listened to Tommy's own podcast yet.
Yeah, that's actually quite funny as well.
Is it?
Yeah.
It's just him spouting, is it?
Yeah, it's the absolute weirdest shit like you'll ever hear in your life.
I may give it a go. I may give it a listen.
His show on RTE is amazing as well.
It really is. This week's one was, I watched it after. It's so good.
Yeah, yeah, man.
with and Mancan Magan.
Yeah,
So, and I have his book, and it's just it's mind blowing.
I already
Mind
did
blowing.
it.
You know, like his book is called 32 Words for Field, and it's just it's so good. It's
Such a Tommy Tiernan name for a book, like Jesus.
but like it's for anyone who doesn't know, it basically just he talks about the Irish language and how complex and how descriptive it actually is. There's different
Beautiful.
words for and beautiful is the word. Like I mean, there's words in Irish. There's single words in Irish that I could take an entire sentence to explain in English. You know, but just the one word would do it. Like I just a couple of words here. Just 1 second.
I actually have his Twitter page up. He does the word of the day thing, and his word of
Oh,
today.
yeah.
His word of today was Tina Shinnig. Phosphorance on the ocean on dark, damp nights that arises from a type of slime on seaweed or fish. Look
There
at
you
that.
go.
There you go now.
Like it's just it's brilliant. Like just on the inside of the sleeve, there's he wrote a small bit. Like I'll just read a small bit. The Irish language has 32 words for field. Among them are Gower, a field of corn grass; Tour, a field for cattle at night; Raylon, a field for games or dancing; or Caharine, a field with a fairy dwelling in it. Like there's and like those are 4 different words, totally different sounding
Yeah.
words, but they all describe different types of fields.
Yeah, it's actually
You
meant
know?
for like.
Can I read out yesterday's day of the word because it's mind blowing how even like this is a thing.
Go ahead.
My pronunciation is not great on this, but he has the little handy thing. But biori, and that is a hook made of willow onto which you would pin the fish bait. It was later replaced with an iron nail, which was supposed to ward off eels.
There you have it.
Yeah,
Like it's one word.
he is a fair dreamer, though, isn't he? Did you see? Like,
Oh, stop! He's the
Yeah.
O'Reilly's grandson.
no,
Great grandson.
is it?
Yeah,
I thought he
the
was
O'Reilly's great
a
grandson.
Stepford. No,
No, well, he claims to be the O'Reilly's great grandson.
maybe he is.
So I don't know. Maybe not.
Sounds
I don't
like-
know enough about his background to have any input, so
You have to look him up. He is actually like he is what everyone wants to be. Really, like just do your own.
Oh no,
thing.
I've listened to his podcast and it's incredible, and I haven't got around to watching his show yet, but if it's anything to go off his podcasts, like even with the Tommy and Hector one, like they're brilliant. Like
Yeah,
same with the Blind Boy. I think the Blind Boy podcasts are fantastic as well.
Blind Boy is excellent.
Come out with some
Oh yeah,
great ones.
if somehow we do happen to grace the ears of Tommy Tiernan or Hector or Larita Blewett or Blind by Bow Club, feel free to drop us a line there. We'll happily have you on.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think we'll wrap it up there.
Yeah, it's good to be back.
Yeah, good to be back after a brief hiatus. So yeah, don't forget to have a look at our merch. We're on. You can go onto it. You can go through our site, theopinionatedpodcast.com. We actually have a domain, which is pretty nice. Yeah.
Sorry, there was a
will.
complete lack of excitement there.
Thanks for the enthusiasm there, Tom.
We need to get a soundboard.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Oh god. Yeah, on the podcast. Wow. I've lost my train of thought. It's gone.
I'm sorry. I do that every week.
Yeah, just buy a fucking t-shirt, will you?
Yeah, just do it. Just do it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there will also be a follow up to those abroad listeners with Tom's promise that he made in the last podcast.
Fuck's sake, forgot about that.
we do actually have one person that has registered their interest already. Hello, Kleena. Kleena's in Japan. Just so you know, Tom.
Your mug is here. You can come collect it whenever you want. I'm not sending out to Japan.
You will be. It'll be all right. You will get it cleaner. So yeah, go ahead, buy something. Any support is greatly appreciated. And also follow our socials. They're all in the description notes of the podcast.
Don't bother following mine. There's no real point.
Don't bother reading the blogs. They're just me waffling at the moment.
Oh yeah, that's right. I'm actually.
I'm-
That's what I meant to say before my train of thought was banished.
Ah, Jesus, no, it's not even really worth mentioning. It's just me absolutely going off on a tangent. But yeah, I am working on a second one at the minute. It's taken rather long because obviously I've been in immense pain the last week. So, but yeah, I have another one coming. It should be finished soon enough. So stay tuned for that.
Yeah, cool. Sorry, I registered about the same.
That's mad, isn't it?
That's his revenge.
Oh, fun. So yeah, do that. Give us a like or a share or something there, just to show your support. If just do it, please. Yeah. So we'll see you next week.
Toodly bit.